Johnny Wharf, another Spotlight interview from the class of 2006, Teresa Petit, Martinette, All-Ohio softball player and inductee into the Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame coming up on September the 18th, the 2021 class. And Teresa, I want to jump back to your early days of learning the game. And I know you played golf and volleyball, but softball was the picture I think I see on the wall down there. Talk about the family dynamic. Did you get in the wiffle ball games with the boys, or how'd that work out?
Oh, yeah. I started playing t-ball back when I was about 5 years old and just continued to play until I was old enough to play softball. But we were all the time playing wiffle ball in the backyard. My dad was playing with us all the time, and so I guess that's where it started. And I just continued to play and grow a love for the game and went all the way with it, I guess.
And then was it always there? I see where you did some fall ball or travel ball. You know, I don't know how long or when that came in, but it just seemed like such a big thing now that everybody does. But I don't know when it started, but was that something that you felt obligated to do, that you wanted to do, that you liked doing?
You know, my dad was actually the one who helped me, push me towards that. You know, I was born, I guess, with what I can say a God-given gift, or athleticism maybe, genetically from my parents. But, you know, my dad was kind of the one to show me that I was pretty good on my own as a softball player, but I had the potential to be great, I guess. And so, you know, he kind of introduced me to the fall ball and the travel ball, and that really came into play high school, I'd say, probably my freshman year. I started playing fall ball up at Muskingum, and then I would do summer travel ball with the West Virginia Heat was the team, and we'd just travel all summer. And, you know, the girls that I met on that team and all the places that we got to go, I mean, I have some lifelong friendships from playing that on that team. So it was an awesome experience, and obviously just, you know, helped contribute to the practice that I needed going forward.
Yeah, the numbers in terms of able to be great, I mean, we look at these numbers, they're staggering. 441 batting average, 43 runs batted in, 8 triples, 218 putouts. Did you know when you came up to the plate that it was a foregone conclusion that you were going to hit the ball? I mean, you had to every other time, it seems like, with an average like that.
I mean, I obviously hoped I would. And, you know, I was very confident. I felt, you know, like I had the ability to, obviously. But, you know, there's always that uncertainty when you stand up there. I always was nervous. I don't think there was ever a time that I stood up to a plate when I wasn't nervous and, you know, wasn't sure what was going to happen. And I've had my fair share of strikeouts, too. But my dad always told me that, you know, if you strike out watching, that's a sin. So I guess I just always thought I got to swing. And more times than not, I connected with.
Yeah, that's great. I always tell my daughter I'd rather see you three putt than leave a birdie putt short. So I think it's a dad thing, right? We're going to take a break.
It is.
Teresa Petit, Martinette, class of 2006, inductee into the 2021 Hall of Fame. We'll be back with some more thoughts from Teresa after this.
One of America's great radio stations, WMOA, celebrating 75 years of local radio.
Johnny Wharf on a Spotlight interview with Teresa Petit, Martinette, class of 2006. You've been talking about your dad a little bit, so there's the mentoring that comes in, but talk about some of the other folks or coaches or things that stand out that maybe were mentors.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like relationships with coaches are so important with, you know, whether you game the game that you're playing or not. And, you know, I understand that more than anybody being a teacher. And, you know, Mark Eschball was the varsity coach when I started playing my freshman year in high school. And I started out on JV, but I think it was, I'm not exactly sure, either my first or second game, Mark Eschball had called me up and said, you know, he wanted to move me to varsity. And I was really intimidated because all my friends were on JV, and all the varsity squad was made up of juniors and seniors with one sophomore. So that was really intimidating to me as a freshman. And I don't know, Mark, what his approach was, but when I first came on the team, he told one of the current catcher, he said, "This is Teresa Petit, and she's here to take your position." So I don't know if that was his way of motivating me, but, he really believed that I could play on varsity. He gave me the chance and, just kind of told me that he thought I was good enough to be there and that, he was going to help show me that I was good enough to be there. And I think that was all it took. Once he gave me the chance and kind of threw me into the wolves, I guess, that really motivated me. So he was really great. And then, obviously John Dowdy was my coach for the remainder of my softball career. And, he just built up this great team morale, and everybody felt like they were important on the team. Everybody felt needed. We felt like a family on that team when he was coaching. And we had a lot of fun. And it was just such a great experience, and it made us want to come to practice. He made us want to work hard and just love the game. It wasn't always so strict, and, we just enjoyed being together and playing. And so he definitely helped motivate me as well.
Teresa Petit, Martinette, class of 2006, 2021 inductee into Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame. A win or a play, best memory, if you think back, is there one that you go back to and say, man, that was a game, I'd love to do it all over again?
Yes, and it's one of the only games I really remember, but we were playing Warren, our, heated rival, as you know, and we were away at Warren, and we ended up beating them 3-0, and it was this huge storm was getting ready to roll in. The clouds were, black. The whole sky was black, and we ended up beating them, and we ran to the pitcher's mound on their field to celebrate at the end of the game, and their coach at the time had just made them run laps around the field, kind of around us celebrating. And I just remember that being such a joyous time because we always struggled when we played them, and they gave us such a good fight all the time. So to be able to beat them and beat them on their field, it was a really great memory. I think a lot of us will remember.
Teresa, as you look back at players in terms of one or two maybe that you still are in touch with, you said even from the younger days you still have people that you are in touch with.
Yeah, so definitely some of my girlfriends from high school, Nicole Best and, Kara Bradford was the other part of the battery there. She was our pitcher. Ironically enough, she actually works with my mother now. But, I also keep in touch with a few of the girls I played travel ball with. My good friend Jordan, she actually was the maid of honor in my wedding. We roomed together when we went to Wheeling Jesuit. And so, like I said, just some of those friendships of the girls I played with, they're life-lasting.
Some of these, some folks, if there's intramural or whatever the case is, and I've always wondered this, when it stops, does it stop? I mean, how do you get to keep playing softball after that last competitive pitch is thrown? So what do you do now to stay in shape or get that feeling back?
Good question. For me, I feel like it did stop abruptly, and that was hard to get used to. I played at Wheeling Jesuit in college for 2 years, and I transferred to Marietta College, where I talked to Coach Arbuckle about playing, but unfortunately transferring through college, I was several classes behind, and I already graduated as a fifth-year senior. And so it just wasn't in the time frame of my graduation to play at Marietta College. But, I've kept in touch with, the Alumni Association at Wheeling Jesuit, and here in about a month, they're going to be having an alumni softball game up here. Yeah, so we get to play against some of the other alumni, and I don't know how it's going to go. I haven't thrown, competitively in a very long time. I haven't played competitively in a very long time, but, just try to keep up with it as far as, just playing with friends and my kids. I'm starting to teach my almost 3-year-old, how to hit a ball off a tee. And so as far as competitive play, it's pretty non-existent. But, I'd love to be a coach one day, and being a teacher, I really have a great opportunity to make that happen. So maybe as my kids begin to get older, that will be something that, I can look into to further my passion.
Well, just get your kids intrigued by putting HOF 21 behind your name when you sign it on things. That'll really get them thinking, all right? Hey, congratulations.
All right.
Thank you for your time. We look forward to getting together with you on the 18th. Congratulations.
Great. Hey, thank you.